Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let's take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome to Wisconsin Family. I'm Janet Crescent.
And I'm Justin Riley, and we are here on location at the Beer Stube at Capitol Brewery. And Janet, I got to tell you, I'm really enjoying hosting with you today.
Well, thank you, Justin. It's a first time for me, too. I'm used to the Girls on Girl Talk, so
Yeah.
it's definitely a little different.
It's a little bit different. Things will go a little bit quicker, I think, right? So, anyway, we've got a great show for you today. I hope that you stick around. We'll be joined by Chris Martingilio. He's going to talk to us about a kind of a serious topic of bullying. He talked a little bit about that last time. And he's going to talk a little bit about giving kids permission to defend themselves when they are being bullied.
Sure, stand up for themselves, whether it's a physical or a verbal assault.
Yeah, absolutely.
Important stuff.
And Emily from Dog Days Grooming and Care, she's a good friend of ours. She's going to give us some tips on how to teach your child how to interact with your dog at home. Because if you have little kids at home, undoubtedly, they love those little furry creatures. They love kind of getting in their faces and grabbing their ears and tails and everything. So how do you teach your kid how to interact with your pet so that you have, because obviously, dogs and kids, they love each other, but, there might be some things like, why are you doing this? A dog might ask, why is this kid doing this to me?
Sure.
So Emily's going to talk to us a little bit about that.
We're going to learn a little bit, too, about dog physical, their body language and what that means.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
That's important stuff since they can't talk to us.
Absolutely. So that's coming up right here after the break, so stick around for Wisconsin Family.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're filming on site here at Capitol Brewery in Middleton, and we'll check in with those folks in a little while. But right now we're turning to dog behavior. We know our dogs communicate through sound, but so much more information is coming through their body language. And here to talk to us about that today is Emily Ruzicka of Dog Days Grooming and Care. She's also going to talk about how to teach not just dogs, but humans how to interact properly. Thanks for coming in today, Emily.
Thanks, Janet.
And who do you have with you?
This is Ivy, my daughter. She's 3. She's a little guest star today. Can you say hi?
Well, how appropriate is that? Because we'll talk about kids and dogs. Yeah. So do you think that dogs interact differently with kids than adults?
Yes. So dogs, I've talked a little bit, well, actually a lot about dogs and their behavior within a pack. And there's a good behavior that adults can have that can show a dog leadership. A lot of it is body language, how you walk, how you carry yourself, chin up, kind of chest out, if you will, using good posture, and really carrying yourself with calm assertiveness is the correct language in the dog world. Adults have an easier time of doing that, where kids, as we know, have lots of energy and they move wild and crazy with their bodies, up and down and all over the place. Dogs perceive that as kind of puppy body language. So an adult dog will see a kid moving that way and kind of perceive them in the puppy level of hierarchy within their pack versus a possible leader. So that's confusing for the dog. Also just stature. Kids are smaller.
Right.
Even to a small dog, they're going to look at me and her, and they're going to see the difference, and they're going to look at leader, puppy, follower, and they are going to interact with that person in that way, which can lead to good and bad things, so you want to be aware of that.
That's so interesting that dogs can perceive that, kids, this is the puppy version of a dog, or
It is, really.
So, yeah, that's really cool. So what are some things that parents can do to educate their kids when it comes to how they should behave around a dog or towards a dog?
So it depends on the age. There's no set in stone rule about the age that's, good for starting to learn or safety-wise. But when they're this little, really always want to have supervision. Littler your kids, and we were just speaking about that. Really little, when dogs are kind of just I need to be by you, I need to touch you for a little one. Yeah. Really just supervision. We want to be protecting our dogs and our kids. They might love each other through the roof, but physical interactions can be not on the part of the child or the dog. They just can lead to dangerous things because of a misunderstanding of body language.
Right.
So just supervision there when they're this little, but really starting about the ages of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, depending on the maturity of the kid, you can really start to teach that kind of body language of just be calm, take deep breaths, walk with purpose. Don't just blah as you're walking around, you know,
Right.
chin up, and help them with the leash walking. Of course, be with them, but let them hold the leash and have them use some of the verbal commands that your dog has learned, and just try to start becoming that assertive yet gentle leader. And the dog will then turn around and show that admiration and respect for that child and the adult in the family.
And that's kind of how, like, the chin up, chest out is kind of how the alpha
Correct.
Acts in a pack.
Yep. Their leader shows that confidence in their body, and the followers see that, sense that, and follow that.
So speaking of the body language, what about a dog's body language saying it's okay to approach or not?
Sure. So there's many different ways a dog has been brought up, and she's getting a little tickled, I think. You're gonna two examples. You're gonna have there's like a happy-go-lucky type dog, which is gonna be confident, ready to play, ready to hang out. That dog's gonna come up with you with a wagging tail, or the tail is gonna be at a level which is relaxed versus up or down in between the legs. In between the legs is fearful. That type of dog you want to be cautious approaching. The best way to always approach any dog that you don't know or that you do know is get down, squat, get down on their level, not to, you know,
Loom
forward
over them.
right, not to loom over, but be down on their level and let them come to you. Don't look them straight on. Dogs turn their sides to each other and they walk by each other rather than coming at themselves face on. It's canine language versus primate language that you and I do this. Very different. They don't understand that. So get down on your squat, kind of turn your side to them and just kind of pretend like you're not doing anything. They'll come right up to you, especially if you see the dog with the straight up tail, which means it's on alert, possibly ready to come forward when you don't see that often.
Right.
Also, you might see a dog with a tail between the legs, which is going to mean fearful, but the interaction might be the same, in which their fear would maybe be them showing teeth a little bit, which does not mean aggression. It means they're scared. So again, approach with caution, squat down, hand out, and then wait for them to come to you.
And we just have a little bit of time left, but I wanted to ask because a lot of folks, when they meet somebody else's dog for the very first time, and for some reason maybe that dog is feeling cornered or something like that, they might show teeth, and the person who meets that dog might immediately think that that dog is either mean or aggressive. Can you talk about that? That's a misconception, though. Can you talk a little bit about
so
that?
the showing of the teeth, often people right away are thinking, oh my goodness, that dog is mean and going to bite me. Well, really, oftentimes, again, if you see that the tail in between the legs, if the ears are back versus up and relaxed, that's going to show, again, that fear. The showing of the teeth is also just it saying like, wow, I'm nervous, please be aware that I'm scared. And the teeth are just a way for them saying, excuse me, give me some space, rather than, I'm going to bite you. They might still be upset with you and do that, but that's only because they're fear. So again, just approach very cautiously, slowly, get down low, don't intimidate.
Yeah, they don't have words to use, so all they can do is their body language and hope you get it.
Yeah, I hope you get it. They're trying their hardest, right? Exactly.
So thank you for people like Emily that teach us how to understand that language and work better with our dogs.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Emily is with Dog Days Grooming Care out in Wanakee. We'll be right back with more Wisconsin Family.
Thank you.
'Cause every day is a new day.
And welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We are on location at the Beer Stube here at Capitol Brewery, and we are enjoying ourselves, Janet and I here. And we're going to be talking with those folks a little bit later on in the program. But first, you should recognize this face as Sensei Chris Martingilio from Martingilio Martial Arts. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So I always enjoy talking with you, Chris, because you always bring such relevant topics that kind of make people think a little bit. For example, last time you were on, we talked a lot about bullying in schools.
Yep.
And you talked about giving kids permission to defend themselves.
Yep.
So I guess I'd like to start off. I think we should keep talking about that.
We
a little bit,
should keep talking about this one, yes.
That's a huge topic. So how do we, parents, teachers, whoever, give kids permission to defend themselves against bullying?
Well, first, I got to be clear, we don't.
Okay.
The school district has specific policies on whether they should respond to somebody hitting them or not. They should tattle.
Right.
But as we get to be adults, we definitely flip that again. So it's conflicting.
Right.
The kids really don't know what to do.
Right.
And they have a hard time identifying bullying. Something that's happened for them for a solid year just becomes normal.
Right.
And so we start with just the physical. That's easy to identify. If somebody grabs you, well, then they're touching you in a way you didn't want to be grabbed. That's easy. I can identify that. But bullying comes in so many different forms. How do we start at 4 years old and actually explain this to them? The answer is we can't. So we start with, if I touch you, well, you can do your movement.
Right.
And you have permission to do it.
Right.
And we start with non-violent attacks, and we work our way up. And this is really smart for us because it does desensitize them a bit to the fact that somebody's going to touch them.
Right.
Whether it's just a hand on the arm and they didn't want it there,
right,
or it's a shove, doesn't matter.
Right.
Or just even invading their space.
Invading their space.
Sure.
Yeah,
So teaching it in your school, what are the stages or the steps?
Well, I start with I get 4-year-old kids, and I actually sit in a chair, and I have the kids come right up to me, and we sit there and we just play games. I grab them, they move. I grab them, they move. I grab them up here, they move in a different way. So they get to the point where it's just conditioned response.
Yeah.
And they smile at me
Yeah.
the entire time it's happening. It's a game. And so for them now, when the violence does, some kid pushes them in the hallway when they're 6, 7, they've done this for a while, they smile at them like, oh, you want to play a game?
Yeah.
Well, that's different than oh, man, I got pushed today.
Yeah.
And they sink, and that feels bad.
Right.
And so we start with just that contact it becomes fun, and it's a smile. Oh, you're touching me? Oh, cool.
I know this game.
I know this game. and right there, it just gives them that well, wait, I've been taught this game since as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
I can play this game.
I can see how that would change the whole feel of the interaction right there.
It changes everything.
Yeah.
Because then instead of fear behind their response, is some confidence behind their response.
And that's going to affect their bully.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we all know that when we're mad, we make bad decisions. If we're sad, we make bad decisions. If we're scared, we make, bad decisions. So what happens if the kid smiles at the bully?
Yeah.
I think now the bully is wondering whether or not that was a good decision.
Right. Right.
And it changes things, I think, for them because now they can process.
Yeah.
So the first part is, I don't want them to touch me.
Yeah.
So they do the movement to stop that. The next question is, do I need to hurt them?
Yeah.
There's more to this. Do I have to kick them? Do I have to do something that's going to complete this, or do I just remove the hand?
Right.
And now they start to know, well, what's the difference? Well, if that kid's yelling at me, if that kid's trying to hurt me, well, then a kick follows.
Right.
And then we start doing that in the classroom.
Right.
So that now they know the difference. And we'll run scenarios. Okay, your buddy's coming up, wants you to play tag, but you don't want to, but he's dragging you out there. Can you use the same move?
Right.
Sure you can.
Yeah.
Can we talk more about the yelling? So the non-physical type of bullying.
Well, that's tough because, sticks and stones, right?
Right.
They do hurt though.
Yeah.
And
We all know that.
we know that. And part of that comes with the confidence that, well, you know what? I'm just not going to hang out with you anymore. I can stop being here with you, right? I have had to tell kids you have permission to leave and go hang out with somebody else.
Right.
But so many of them just take it and take it and take it and take it.
Because they don't have the confidence to say, I can go be a friend with somebody else.
Right. So it also starts with we have to teach the verbal stuff as much as the physical. Look, what's worse, the verbal or the physical? I guess it depends on who you are, right?
Yeah.
We notice that girls like to use the verbal more than the boys. Boys like to hit, girls like to be meaner. And I've got a girl that is in my school that has been experiencing some bullying, and we've been talking to her about some strategies. And most of hers is psychological.
Yeah.
She just has to have the confidence to know, look, I don't have to put up with this.
Yeah.
And there are channels that I can go through. And for her, for the last couple of years, it's been all confidence.
That's
and it's
great.
been changing. Even though she's changed into martial arts and she's not having to respond to violence, I can see it changing for her.
That's great.
And that's huge to see that.
That's
For the
great.
rest of her life.
Exactly.
We just have a few seconds left, but
Yeah,
can
yeah.
you touch really quickly on how you desensitize your kids, your students
To the violence.
Yeah.
We have to have real discussions about it sometimes. We will throw the swear words out there, and I know it's not always a great thing to do, but we have to tell them, look, when somebody's yelling at you, somebody's swearing at you, it's no big deal. Just words.
Yeah.
Smile at them.
Right. Yeah.
Because you know what to do if it gets worse.
Right. It's really the power that they give to those words when someone's thrown them at them. So if they don't give them any power, then they're just
Yeah,
words.
and that's it. We take away that power from that, and it's good.
Chris Martingilio from Martingilio Martial Arts, always a pleasure talking with you. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks.
Don't go away. When we come back, we'll be talking with the folks at Capitol Brewery. Stick around. It's Wisconsin Family.
'Cause
And welcome back to Wisconsin Family. And here we are at the beer stube of Capital Brewery. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. We're going to talk to somebody from Capital Brewery, not just anybody, but one of the brewers here. We're talking now with Zach Faber. Zach, welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for having us here today.
No problem, anytime.
Yeah, so you guys just wrapped up Bachfest not too long ago. How'd that go?
It went very well. We had a lot of people come through. Weather was perfect.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and we didn't have to worry about snow removal or anything like that. But we sold a lot of beer and had a good time.
That's good, that's good. And Maibach is still on tap. Tell us a little bit about this Maibach.
Maibach is just a traditional German Bock. A little bit on the sweeter side, real easy to drink. A little bit higher in alcohol, so you got to be a little bit careful with it. But it's one of our best-selling seasonals for sure.
Excellent, and that's still available right now.
Yep, it's available for a little bit longer, and then we'll come out with our another one.
Why is it like that, where they're available for a period of time and then they change? Is it a seasonal thing?
Yep, we have 4 seasonals throughout the year, and so we push them for about 3 months each, and then we just roll them over to the next year. It's a little bit more exclusive. The public seems to like it a little bit better, and come out with just a little bit more beer every year.
Might be nice for you. It gives you a little bit of a change up, and it gives people something to look forward to as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So speaking of some of them, can we talk about this one, the Ghost Ship? There's been a lot of buzz about this IPA. Can you tell me why, and how is it different from the others?
It's a little bit different just because we put so much citrus in there. There's grapefruit and coriander and orange lemon. And so it's just a real fun kind of beer. It's 5.6%, real easy to drink. We call it a great breakfast beer, so you can make perfect mimosas out of it or have it with brunch. And it doesn't really drink too heavy.
Can you speak to where the name came from?
It was just kind of a random name that we came up with. The first IPA we had was the Mutiny. And so we kind of went with the nautical theme for a while, and then we got away from it with the Grateful Red that just came out. But
after a mutiny happens, it becomes a ghost ship. Really,
exactly.
That's probably what happened. So, okay, that's cool. I thought when you said it was going to be a great breakfast beer, that means you could pour it on your cereal or eat it with cornflakes or something like that. But anyway, I'll take mimosas. Mimosas work for me too. And I always like, believe it or not, I actually like the more fruity type of beers too. I think that's got. I always look forward to when they come out. So
it's a real fun one to make when we blend up all the spices in the back. It smells like Fruit Loops.
That's awesome. That is the breakfast beer then. There you go.
We're getting all the behind the scenes stuff here.
Yeah. So Lake House is coming out pretty soon. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's my favorite summer seasonal. It's just a real easy drinking Helles style lager. It's got a lot of flavor profile to it. Really goes well with anything. You know, barbecue, you can have it with dinner, anything like that all day long. So.
All day long. And it's a lager, you said?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Is it your favorite to drink or your favorite to brew?
My favorite to drink.
Oh, okay.
So.
I was going to ask you that, so you just anticipated what I was thinking.
Yep. Brewing, it's real easy. It's just a standard lager. You just got to have it on point as you go down the line. But it's a great tasting beer for sure.
Excellent.
Now, Stark Beer Fest is coming up. Now, your beer garden opens in April, but this is going to be in March, and what, the 19th?
Yep.
Okay. Tell us about that event.
It's modeled after Stark Beer Fest in Germany. They hold one every year, and so we decided to bring a little bit more flavor from Germany into our brewery. We do make traditional German lagers for the most part, and so it's just another festival that we can have right before we open to get some buzz that the garden's going to open here in a couple weeks. And a lot of good breweries bring out a really, really great selection of beers.
And you limit the number of people that can buy tickets for this event, right?
Yeah, almost all of our events we limit the amount of tickets for.
Okay.
Where can people get tickets, Zach?
Go ahead and check online. They should have a list of where you can get them. So.
Excellent.
And you have live music and food and...
We'll have live music, food, and I think 16 different breweries.
Wow. So that's great. That's great.
And hopefully some great weather.
Yeah. It should be real nice.
Hard to believe that in just a couple of weeks the beer garden will be open again. But you guys use the beer garden for Bachfest.
Yeah.
Well,
when you put that many people into a place, you got to have a lot of space.
Sure.
And
yeah.
So the beer garden is really the only place that we have that we can hold an event like that. Plus, we have 36 tap handles outside versus the 12 that are in here.
Sure,
so we
that's
can
true.
move through lines a little bit faster.
So, besides what's going on in the summertime, tours are going on year-round here at Capital Brewery. Give us a few details. What sorts of things can people do when the beer garden is not open and where you're not having special events?
We have the Stube open all winter long, and you can come in and just sit around and watch some football, have a good time, or you can jump on a tour. It comes with a couple samples here behind the bar, and get a lot of good information in the back. Usually one of the bartenders leads it, but if you come in on a special weekend, you'll get a brewer or Ashley, our brewmaster, to do it. And so,
A learning opportunity.
Yeah.
Yep,
And there
absolutely.
really is so much to learn about brewing. And there's a lot that goes into it that people don't even realize, especially if you've never done it yourself. So talk to us a little bit about like what the roles are of a brewmaster versus brewer. What do you do versus what does Ashley do? Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Ashley really comes up with the recipes. She does a lot of the handling of the building, but as far as the actual brewing process goes, the brewers take care of it. And so if we have a question or we have an issue with that brew, then we can go ahead and go to her and she'll know how to fix it. But we usually just go off the recipe and everything hits its mark, and we don't usually have too many issues. So she does a lot of this kind of stuff with the PR and
Sure.
is the face of the brewery.
Before the
So-
cameras were rolling, we were talking about how cleaning is a really big part of your job.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me more about that?
Well, every time you use a tank, you have to go ahead and clean it, and then you have to sanitize it. And
Right.
so doing that is about 75% of our time. And so you've got to go in and rinse it out, and we have horizontal tanks, and so you actually climb inside and scrub them by hand.
Wow, really?
And so it's a time-consuming effort, for
Right.
sure.
Important.
Yes,
Right.
very.
So,
Important.
worth the time.
How long have you been brewing?
I've been a brewer for 7 years.
Okay.
So I worked here at Capitol for about 4.
Excellent. Excellent. And you enjoy it?
Yes, I love my job.
How did you get started? Just curious on that.
My wife's best friend in Las Vegas, that's where I moved here from, he owned a brewery and needed an extra hand one day, and one day it became 7 days a week. So
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. So remind us real quickly again when Lake House comes out. What is the date on that? Do we have a date?
I do not have an exact
Okay.
date. We'll start sending it out to the distributors here in a couple weeks.
Okay.
And so it should be on shelves probably mid-April is
Excellent.
what I would guess.
Mid-April, we can start looking for the Lake House.
And the
Capitol
Stark
Brewery.
Beer Fest,
And the Stark Beer Fest is coming up too.
Saturday the 19th. Saturday the 19th. Remember, you can get tickets for that.
Yep, go on to capitalbrewery.com and get your tickets and find out where you can get your tickets. So, Zach Faber, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you,
today. It's
guys.
been a pleasure talking with you.
You too.
So, that's all the time we have for Wisconsin Family. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day